Welcome to the Wandering Road, a place where the unseen moves all around us. The stories you'll hear aren't just whispered legends, they're shadows that cling, footsteps that follow, and whispers that never fade. Every turn pulls you closer to the unknown, and once you've heard what waits here, the night will never feel the same again.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Wandering Road podcast. I'm your host Chris, alongside my co-host Dean, and joining us today to share her paranormal experiences and just to talk about the paranormal in general is Bekah from ThirdEyeBekah on TikTok. Welcome to the show, Bekah.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for agreeing to come on. I know we scheduled this on pretty short notice, so I appreciate, you being flexible and coming on today. So I'm really excited to, get a chance to talk to you and hear your experiences. Maybe we could talk a little bit about some of the videos on your TikTok page as well, because it looks like you do visit some historical locations and have had some experiences there. So that would be awesome to jump into.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to know about ThirdEyeBekah, the channel name. So really quickly, how did you come up with that name? Is it kind of anything touching the band Third Eye Blind, or is it kind of just like you're sticking traditionally to the concept of the third eye in a lot of religions?
Yeah, definitely sticking to like the third eye, like spirituality aspect of it. I consider myself psychic. I couldn't just walk up to you and tell you your future kind of psychic, but I have a lot of abilities, and I think that's why I experience so much paranormal like activity in my daily life. I mean, I can't remember a time when I didn't experience something. So I was like, all right, I love that. That's gonna be my name.
I literally just came across a TikTok recently that was like kind of showing you how to read palms a little bit, which I was always curious about. Chris, maybe we should do like a deep dive into that one episode at some point. But like, I don't know anything about palm reading, but I did see that there's this concept in palm reading called the Eye of Odin. And apparently if you have this circular structure along the crease of your thumb, like the first big crease of your thumb, if it's like kind of circular when you bend it a little bit, it's called the Eye of Odin. It looks like an eye staring back at you. Then you have more of a sensitivity to reading the future or having like clairvoyance or something like that. Have you ever gotten into palm reading or know anything about that whatsoever?
I personally don't know, but now I'm like
No,
staring
that's
at
cool.
my
Yeah,
hand.
I
I'm
wish
like,
I did.
am I actually
wonder,
psychic
right?
with my hands I am?
Right. The only thing I know about is like the lifeline. Like, I don't even know how that plays into like how that works, but like, I just know the lifeline. I've been meaning to get a palm reading for years now. We should do that, Chris, like one of our episodes.
We should. You got me here looking at my
Cool.
thumbs like a jackass.
I know. I'm like, wait, where's like I see a
Gotcha,
circle, but when I
motherfucker.
bend it, I don't.
Is it like an
How's this? How's this one? Can you see that one? Does that look normal?
Does that look like an
Hey,
eye?
you got the Eye of Odin a little bit there.
I
Chris.
do? Oh,
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
Well, that
damn it.
explains a lot. Shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, that's enough
sorry
about us. But
yeah, sorry to derail. So how did you come across your capability of being psychic? Like, was it coming across from a young age, or did it come out later in life? Or can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I feel like I started to like figure it out and realize like small things here and there, probably like during middle school. Like I think my first like I can feel things, feel like, different energies around me. Like I know this is like morbid, but like my whole family, we were all going to a funeral. My mom's like trying to keep us like in good spirits, and we're all singing and dancing in the car because it was like an hour drive there. And we all get out of the car and we're still laughing, like the whole family, just having a good time. And the second we opened the church doors, I could feel like my throat tense up, and I immediately wanted to cry, but like I didn't see anybody for the funeral yet. Like all we did was open the doors. So like the second we walked in, I could like feel the sadness surrounding like everything. I think I was in like maybe 8th grade, and I was like, something's different. How did my emotions change that quickly? And then I think like during high school, I started to have like dreams, and then I would have these dreams, and then like maybe that day or a couple days later or even weeks later, like that exact dream would like become true, like to a T. like no parts missing. And I'm like, something's wrong with me. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? And I like grew up completely Catholic. Ghosts aren't real. Like all of that stuff's demonic, and you're not supposed to look into that or get into anything like that. That's a sin. And I just feel like I was like brainwashed, and I was like trying to cover up who I really was, like this whole time during high school and middle school. And then once I got out, I like started going to college, and I started meeting other people that, I wasn't surrounded by in like a Catholic school, and they were more normal people. And they had like some people had like the same aspects that I did, talking about, ghosts and the paranormal.
Chris, that's your wheelhouse, right? Because like you talk about all the time, getting a perspective of people who grew up Catholic or who were Catholic, and when they're brought up with the concept of demonism or demons, they're like, no, that stuff doesn't exist in this realm. Like that's completely that's phooey, and I feel like that's kind of what she said, right? Like that's similar in the same vein. So
What I really latched on to, Becca, was with the dreams in particular. That happens. It wouldn't be the same day, but it would be like maybe 6 months later. And it would be something negative in the dream. Like I'd be walking down the street, and then like for some reason I just get jumped by like a group of people. And then
Did that
like
happen?
funny story, I could share
Oh
that
my
with you
God.
now. So we went to college in Pittsburgh. So downtown Pittsburgh, there's like this main avenue. It's not a really big city. And I had a dream that I was like walking down the street, and I was like attacked by like these four guys for whatever particular reason. So I didn't think anything of it. And then fast forward to like it's like the end of the semester. It's like pretty warm outside. It's like mid-May. I decide like I'm gonna go check out the game store down the street in downtown. So I'm walking, and then I get deja vu, and I'm like, oh my God, I dreamt of this. There's a group of people coming towards me. When that happens, I do the opposite. It's weird stuff like that. You don't recognize it until like later on after it's already happened, and it's like, holy shit, I dreamt of this
Yeah.
before.
Wow. I usually have more like well, I mean, I have some crazy dreams, but like the things that I like predict in my dreams are more so like positive or like really small like things. So it's like nothing crazy like that. But I'm glad that you had those dreams, so then you can like pinpoint, oh my God, I can change this reality now because I already dreamt about it, and I can fix it before anything happens. Like that's pretty cool.
A couple of my cousins have these predictive dreams as well. So I don't know if it's like a family thing
I
or something
always
of
think
that
it's like
sort.
generational. I always think that.
I think it might be because my mom has 8 other sisters, and they
Wow.
all can feel and see different things. That's why like my mom like never likes to go to cemeteries because she can see them.
I like to go to cemeteries because I can see them.
Oh.
Like it's like weird. It like makes me feel alive. I don't know why. Like I know that sounds morbid, but it like makes me feel like
No.
alive because I'm like, wow, that's so
Sounds
cool.
brave to me.
Yeah, it does. Now my morbid question is, what does it look like? What do they look like? Do they look like regular when they died, or
So I've seen like so many different physical apparitions like with my actual eyes, but then I can also see them like what you would call in your third eye. So like my first full body apparition was at the Gettysburg battlefield. And my wife saw it too. We were walking like around the battlefield. We had just gotten there. And I'm like, "Oh my God, look, like they must be having a reenactment today." And she looks over, she's like, "Oh my God, but like why is there two of them?" And there's just two soldiers walking. You can see where their gun is in the holster. And their backs are turned to us, and we're staring at them. I'm like, where are they going? Like, why are they walking in the middle of the battlefield? Literally just dissipated. Like other times, if I see them in my third eye, I get more of like, like movie clips or like commercials for movies, like how it's just like boom, 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 boom fast. I get like, I guess you would call it like a download, and I can like see parts of their life, what they looked like. And then like sometimes I can like, all right, they're right here. I can feel them. And then I'll get like all of this weird, I mean, I guess it's not weird, but like I'll get all of this information. I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's so crazy. Or I can just see what they're doing. Like if I'm staring in my kitchen, like Okay, good. There, I yelled at my wife because she's a house cleaner. She went to a new house a couple weeks ago, and I'm like home alone, and she had just left, and I'm like, I turn around, I see a man in my kitchen. I was like, you need to get out of here. I was like, you gotta go. You gotta go. You do not belong here. And he's like not listening. I'm like, you need to go. And I could just see him standing there like confused, like, how did I get here? And like my wife has abilities too, but she will not say, and like she's like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm like, if you don't put a wall up or protect yourself somehow, you keep like bringing things accidentally home. Like it's gone now. But I saw it. I'm like, who is this brown-haired like man in my kitchen? Like he looked so confused.
He like turns around. Oh, forgive me, madam. I didn't mean to intrude.
Oh my god, like I didn't get any like I didn't get like any like he didn't speak. He just was like, and I'm like, this is weird. Like he had no idea where he was, how he got there. But I please go. Please go. Like I don't want anything in my house because I just like this is my safe space. I want to stay at home and like, feel safe and not have to worry about any of that. Like, because when I go out of my house, it's like constant all the time. So I try to protect my house.
I feel like there's so many things to unpack there, but the primary one is
Sorry.
Chris. I could see you. I could see you salivating when she said
She
Civil
said the
War.
G word.
It's like she said Gettysburg.
It is okay. I
open.
have a weird obsession with Gettysburg. I am obsessed with Gettysburg. It is
You
so
are
weird.
best friends with Chris then. You're best friends with Chris then.
Well, he's in Pennsylvania, so you and I are going to go to Gettysburg and we're going to do an investigation. Let's go.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go. Come on, let's do
Yes.
it.
Chris is
I
too much of
already-
a pussy.
Devil's Den. I love
he
Jenny
needs
Wade.
me.
I love the orphanage.
Yes, I need my human shield.
Yeah, he needs me as the human shield to come.
Look,
So-
man, I lived in a
He's
house
just-
that was potentially like inhabited by a demon. I don't need anything else added on to that, okay? But I will say me and my buddies went to Gettysburg. You're not supposed to do this. But whatever, I'm sure a lot of people do this. We went to the battlefield at night. We went to the stone wall on the Union side where Pickett's charge took place. I got out the car. I walked maybe 5 feet towards the wall. Something said stop. My one buddy, who's like kind of a skeptic, he's more spiritual, but he's like still a little skeptical. He's just walking around like nothing's wrong. Me and my other buddy were like, I feel like we're being watched, and I don't think it's the police. Can we get back in the car? And can we go?
Dude, you left out the best part. The best part was when you walked out of the car and you heard, Jedediah, look at that brown man over there. You're the only.
Oh my god.
We've talked about so much, like Chris walking through the battlefield as a non,
Like on the Confederate side? Like what the
on the
hell?
Confederate side, like
Oh my god.
I don't like
yeah.
him. I
The
don't know why.
battlefield is like a whole different world. It's like the energy there. Like if you go there and you don't experience something, like I feel like something's wrong with you. Like it's so active. It's hard to like not accidentally experience something.
What was your experience at Gettysburg like?
So my first one was the apparitions I told you about. One time we were investigating the Jenny Wade house and we had left and we're like, okay, I know you're not supposed to go on the battlefield. I was like, but if we just drive around on the roads and we stay in our car and we just turn the car off, maybe we'll hear something. We get on the like one of the battlefield roads. I turn the car off. Not even 10 seconds later, we literally hear what sounds like a horse galloping and a man talking. And it was such a deep voice. I was so like, I know like that happens to me a lot, but I was so scared because we just now turned the car off. We're in the complete dark on the Gettysburg battlefield. I just heard a freaking horse galloping. I'm like, I couldn't turn my car on fast enough to get the hell out of there. I was like, that was terrifying. Other times, like if I went to Saks Covered Bridge, I didn't physically see anything, but you could feel, it felt like a man like just like hovering and like standing over top of you. And have you been in the orphanage?
No, I haven't been to the orphanage.
That energy in there is so sick and sad. And like they had the dungeon where she like tied up the children and they have the chains on the walls still. I lasted like 15 seconds in the
What the
dungeon. I was like, I gotta go. It's so sick. It's so sick. Like
Wait, I've never heard of this. Like, I don't like. I'm sure it's really hard to talk about, but Chris, are you familiar with this as a historian? Like, what happened to children in the orphanage? Like, were they just badly treated, or like, why
Yeah.
were there chains and shit?
So Rosa Carmichael was the like caretaker. So after the battle, like all of the, the husbands had died and then the children's had become orphaned. So they made the Gettysburg Orphanage, and Rosa Carmichael was like this evil woman, and she took care of these kids, well, took care of them, right? She starved them, she chained them up in the basement. They found remains of male children
Oh my
in the
god!
backyard that she neglected so badly that they died, and she tried to bury it and cover it up. It's like it's really sick, and
Wow,
being a
I had
mom,
no
like
idea.
it like makes me so ill that like I don't know, kids my son's age
Yeah,
were tortured like that. It's so sick.
that's nuts. I had no idea that that sort of thing was at Gettysburg. Wow.
The battle was terrible, but like those were children. Like those were young children. It's sick. If you ever get a chance, go on the tour. The tour guides at Ghostly Images are amazing.
I've been in their like shop like quite a few times, and I was like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? So when we went there, me and my buddy, we went down there and it was night. It was pretty dark out, and there were quite a few crowds getting ready to do like ghost tours and stuff. And that was after we went to the Union side of Pickett's Charge. When I told you like we felt uncomfortable, and I looked at my friend and I looked at my other friend, I'm like, guys, do we really want to do this right now? Like after we just felt what we felt, and we were like, nah. So we just ended up going to get a couple beers at the Blue and Gray, and I think it's Tavern. Yeah, they have some good burgers there. But
I was gonna say they have good burgers. I've had their burgers.
yeah, anytime like my wife and I we make a trip like to New York or something like that, and we take the turnpike, I was like, oh, we got to stop and like get a burger or something. So it's always a good time. Yeah, it's one of my favorite places to go, and you definitely feel a shift in the atmosphere once you get to the battlefield. And my favorite place to go is Little Round Top.
Looks
It's
over
just
Devil's Den.
yeah. I can't wait to go back again. Maybe I'll investigate. Maybe.
You should. Well, to me, if you do like a public investigation, then there'll be more people. You won't feel so like.
But what are the odds of seeing something on a public investigation like that, though?
Yeah, when I did a public investigation, I could just like feel things, but there was just like they took us in these small houses, you know what I mean? And there was just so many people, it was hard to even if we were in different rooms, if we're in these old houses, there's creaks, you can literally hear everything from the other room in the room that you're in. So it was kind of hard to investigate. So you're kind of right about that, but hey, it's still cool to go in all those places. So I wanted to piggyback on because did you go to Catholic school?
I did not, fortunately.
Well,
okay.
we went to Catholic University.
Yeah, we went to a Catholic university.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
My first experience with the paranormal that I remember actually happened in my Catholic school. I was there at night all of the time, but my mom was one of the teachers, and the church was attached to the school. So when she's in the church doing her choir practice, which was like 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night on like a random weeknight, she would put me up in her room, which was like maybe like a 4-minute walk from the church. And I'd be the only one in the entire school. And this like one particular night, it's like the first paranormal experience that I remember having. I'm like 10. I think my brother's like 5 or 6, and I'm watching him, and we're playing on my mom's school computer because we didn't have a computer, in the early 2000s back at home yet. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. And I'm playing, I think, do you remember that little like gray game? It's not Minesweep or something. I was like playing that and like mastering that. My brother's sitting there coloring next to me in a coloring book, and all of a sudden we hear what sounds like chalk writing on the chalkboard. And I'm like, I just froze, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then you know how like at the end of the school day, your teacher would be like, hey, put your chair up on your desk so they can come around and like sweep and mop. The first 2 rows next to the chalkboard, the chairs literally that were on the desk flipped and sat like straight down on the floor like someone was gonna like sit in them. my brother and I like sprinted out of that classroom, and we refused to go back. We made my mom come back with us and like turn off all the lights and lock everything up because I was terrified. That was like the first thing that I've ever experienced, and then I experienced plenty of other things there after that.
Was that like an older Catholic school area? Like was it historical, or like what did you ever think about that
So
again? Like what might have been going on?
So I believe it was built in like the 1930s, if I'm correct. My dad had even went to that school when I was young, like when he was younger, and he was born in the 50s. So I'm pretty sure it was like built in 1930. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and I'm not sure if you've heard of like the Netflix documentary The Keepers, or if you've seen it.
No,
Yes,
I haven't. What is it
I
about?
have. Yeah.
My mom's been a Catholic school teacher her whole life, and some of the places that she's taught at were mentioned in The Keepers, and it's basically like um just outing the archdiocese and the Catholic Church of like all of these terrible things that have happened and what they've covered up, and like I mean like sexual assaults and things like that. Like the priest would take money for the church from, police officers and higher up people of society that would come and sexually assault students that the priest would have like drugged so the church could gain money. And then like one of the nuns died. It's like this whole thing. So if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's on Netflix, and it really outs like the archdiocese, and it's pretty good. But I mean, just imagine all of those things and all of that bad energy happening in that space.
Chris, what was that one documentary you were talking about for a while where there was an abduction in
Vatican Girl.
the
in
Vatican
Rome
Girl?
in
Okay.
in
Yeah,
the 70s.
I did see The Keepers for sure a while ago, but that just also made me think of the more recent the Vatican Girl. So like, yeah, that historical stuff is so fascinating.
I never saw the ghost nun, but the deacon's wife was one of the teachers. That was the deacon of the church. His wife was one of the teachers. I'm like, I mean, you're not supposed to talk about that stuff. And she came up to my mom and was like, I saw a nun walk out of my classroom and down the hallway and up the stairs to the convent. And my like school, the church had a convent as well. And she's like, and she just disappeared. And then the cleaners, the housekeepers for the school, they saw the ghost nun too, which is like terrifying. I'm just so glad I never saw that.
See, okay, so hold on. Like, okay, I see you leaning for a question, but I have to ask her something before we get off topic too much. I have to ask somebody who has experience in this realm. You've spent time in Catholic schools and stuff like that, and you've heard stories of apparitions in Catholic school. So not to throw a wrench under the bus of anybody who's Christian or Catholic, like there's no shade whatsoever, but I have to ask curiosity wise, what do you personally, Bekah, think is going on with Chris and I were both raised Catholic, right? And it sounds like you were raised Catholic as well. I've stepped away from Catholicism in a lot of ways. I've become kind of more open-minded to different religions and all that. Whatever. Yeah. So, etc. Chris is also open-minded as well, by the way. He's still Catholic, but he's open-minded. But the thing is, the question I want to ask.
My family were like Hindus and Muslims, so
there you go. Yeah, exactly. Way more in tune than I could ever imagine to be growing up as a white kid in Western PA. But so you, Bekah, though, from your perspective, what would you guess in your wildest dream is going on? Because so like someone who spent like, let's say you have a nun, she's really devout, she believes in Christianity, Catholicism, she's very, very, very focused on her faith, and she tries to live a good, righteous path, right? Let's just say for the sake of argument, she's not abusive, or she's actually a good person. What do you think these people are seeing in terms of an apparition? Like, why? Like, is it actually the nun that lived there long ago? Like, let's say they're seeing the 60s versions of her, like she's 60 years old or 50 years old. Like, why are they seeing her in that state at that time? Is she actually occupying that haunting herself, her soul, or is it kind of like a duplication of what happened in the past? That makes sense.
I would think the way that they've seen her, I would think that it's like residual, because she'd never acknowledge them. She just would walk out of a room and like walk past them. And every time that they saw her, she was walking up the stairs to the convent. So like where the one teacher was, there was stairs to the convent, and she was on the bottom floor, like in the very basement, and you could walk all the way to the third floor to the convent. And then where the housekeeper saw her, she was on the second floor, and she just walked down the hallway, didn't see anybody, and walked right up the stairs. But I would ping that as like residual haunting. Maybe she's just did it so many times it's like engraved into that, that space.
No, that's a
And
great answer. Residual is a great answer. We've heard that before, and I still don't know exactly what that could possibly be in terms of residual. Like the soul is not actually present in those sightings, but it's kind of just like
yeah.
a movie replaying, so to speak. So, I mean, that's equally fascinating. But yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
perspective.
Some of these nuns were not nice. So it's like crazy how they were supposed to be like, the kids were supposed to look up to them. They were supposed to be nice and be role models, and they were just plain evil and mean. Like my dad had so many stories of being beaten and hit and, belittled by these people. So it's like crazy how just because you go to church doesn't mean you're a good person. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, 100%.
Just because
Yeah.
you're a nun doesn't mean you're a good person. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe delete that. I don't know if that's appropriate.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
I
Yeah, just
mean,
like-
it's
yeah. It makes sense.
Factual. It's factual. So
yeah. Hopefully I wasn't like offending anybody.
Not
is
us.
what it is. Not us.
Yeah. We're
So
open to
you're-
all this conversation.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
You're fine.
and it just like it boggles my mind because if it's like, okay, like none of that exists, like how were there these apparitions there? How were these things happening? How did I first see my first orb float down a hallway there? You know what I mean? Like how is that energy in a Catholic sacred space? I'm just very confused by it.
That's an interesting question. And I think just because it's a space that's designated like a Catholic space, like you said, it had a convent, I'm sure it had a church attached to it, like all Catholic schools do. But I don't think that negates the negative energy that would be attracted to that area or put out in that area based off of the behavior of the individuals that live on site there. So like if you have nuns, yeah, they could be praying every day, but if they're like whooping kids' asses with meter sticks every day, I mean, there comes a point where
It's a ruler.
a ruler, yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I think the behavior of the people, and like you alluded to the things that were found in the documentary, that just brings in negativity. I personally believe that negative behavior attracts negative entities, or it'll attract negative entities and potential entities that if people that are there that live there do pass on, they might get stuck there, not of their own accord, but whatever was drawn in by those actions.
That's my nightmare, is like you do something shitty because you're a human being, like you're capable of whatever, like you're trying to be a good person, but like one day someone pushes you too far, you call them an asshole, and then you're stuck in this like little like I don't know. No, thank you. I want to be nice all the time. But so I want to go back to the orbs real quick. So like, can you talk about, like, it sounds like you've had some experience multiple times with orbs, and I have too. I think Chris has as well. What's your earliest experience with an orb and most recent, and what do you think is going on with that?
Yeah, like the first time I ever saw one, I literally just froze and my mind like couldn't work fast enough to comprehend what I had just seen. But it had flew out from behind me, and I was at the church. I used to clean up after their bingos. And that was my little job while I was in high school. I would clean, so I was cleaning the bathroom. It's just me, my dad, and someone else that cleaned with us, and we all had our own like little designated areas. So just me in the bathroom. The orb had came out of the, like, I'm pretty sure because it came behind me. I think it came out of the bathroom stall, and it was like this big, and it was like a whitish yellow, and it just like flew by me, and I'm like literally staring at it completely like, what the hell? And it just goes into the wall, and that was it. It was gone. I was like hyperventilating. I'm like, oh my god, I can't go tell everybody. I think I'm crazy. And I'm like, what was that? Like it was insane. And then like later on, like as I like opened up and developed some of my abilities, when I see them, I'm just like, oh, cool. But like they just look like white bright lights, and they just kind of and they just go. And I've even seen like I know these aren't orbs, but I have no idea what they are, but they're just like little black shapes. They're not like a
Yeah.
circle, they're not circular like the orb, but they'll just be like little, like, I don't know, it reminds me of like a bat wing, like the way that a bat's wing is shaped. And I'll
Hmm.
just see them like, and they'll just like, boop, and they'll just disappear. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I literally have no idea what that is.
The only time I have a memory of an orb, and this is really trippy and probably weird, I was, it's one of the first memories I can imagine. So I can only think I was barely like 2 or 3 years old. And I know how that sounds. Like, people don't have memories before the age of like 5 or 4, like long-term memories. But for some reason, if I think back to my earliest memory, I just have this image laying down in a flat surface at a very, very, very young age, looking up in the corner of the room of my mom's old house, which is, we don't, she's long sold that house. So the top right hand corner of the room, I can see an orb growing out of that corner. And so it's literally the point at which the two walls and the ceiling meet. It's like growing out. And so this orb is growing brighter and brighter and brighter. And I'm telling you, like, I've had this memory for years and years and years and years and years. And I've thought back on it, like, what does this mean? Like, what could it have been? I think that, I'm willing to be grounded in the possibility that it's a false memory. But if it is a real memory, what is it? What was it? And the thing I keep landing back my psyche on, this concept that there's a certain point when we're born or after we're born where we get our conscious state, like our conscious awareness, like consciousness comes from some pool or somewhere. And I like to think like maybe that's the point that I, for some reason, remember getting a conscious awareness of myself and existence, but it also could have just been like, nothing. I don't know. That's the only experience I have with an orb in my life that I can think of. Chris, do you have any orb experiences? Like,
No, actually, I haven't.
okay.
I've seen them in my photos from back in the day, back in
Yeah,
the 90s and
100%.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look back on your pictures, just pay attention to the corners and stuff. You will see a lot of them.
I'm trying to like think of if I've taken photos anywhere. I mean, have you ever heard of Jericho Bridge? So that is a red covered bridge. It's a historic bridge. My friends and I, that's what we would do at night. We would go and we would hit all of the haunted spots like where we could that were like super creepy so we could scare the crap out of ourselves. And like every time you take pictures there at night, there's like always orbs in the photos. One time my friend even took a photo and there's supposed to be soldiers like that were hung from the rafters of the covered bridge. And she took a photo and we actually saw them and she was like, we need to leave now. And she refused to keep the photo or send it to anybody. She deleted it because she thought like they were going to follow us home and they were going to get us. I was like, that would have been so cool if we could have actually showed people. Like, it would have been so cool. But like, you go there at night, you're bound to get like a bunch of orbs in your photos.
Kind of sucks, but it's like you tell people about it and they look at you like you have 3 heads, but it's like, I know what I saw. It's sheer discomfort and terror. With that bridge that you guys took the picture of, what was it, like a Civil War era bridge where something happened there where those soldiers were hung? Was there any background to that?
So it's like a Civil War so the park has Civil War trails like where they like marched through the park. So they have like the trail like marked so you can see like where they marched through and you can like walk the trails. I don't know like I can't remember all of the history, but it's supposed to be like they were hung there and if you drive onto the bridge at night, you turn your car completely off and the headlights and you sit there, all of a sudden you're supposed to hear their feet like dangling on top of your car. And like there's people that went as far as like covering their car with like baby powder. But like mind you, this is a road. So like if someone's coming and your lights are like off and you're about to go on this one-way bridge, like you gotta hurry up and either like back up because it's like a one-way road. So it's like hard to get like, past each other. So like you gotta be quick about it. So a lot of people would go like at night, like, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. So there's like not a lot of traffic because it is in a residential like area. I've never experienced like the footsteps on top of your car dragging or anything like that. When I tell you we used to go there like 3-4 times a week, like every week for like years as teenagers, because you got a license, you're like, oh, let's go somewhere. Where can we go? I don't know, let's go scare ourselves at the covered bridge. We've done like Ouija boards on the bridge. Like I've had experiences like where we heard a man moaning, and that there's so many claims of that. I've like heard a little girl talk to me like 2 separate times. My friends have heard it too. It's a really, really historic area, and it's really creepy. I have like a weird obsession. Okay, yeah, I have a weird obsession with Ouija boards. Also, like Ouija boards were kind of like used after the Civil War because so many people's loved ones died. So they were like, trying to communicate with them. The Ouija board was also made in Baltimore. I'm not sure if you knew that, but like, I
Yeah, we
don't
did. We
know.
covered that. I remember now. Yes.
Yeah, the spot where it was is a 7-Eleven now, and they have a plaque in Baltimore. So you can walk into the 7-Eleven, and they have like a whole plaque dedicated with a Ouija board in the 7-Eleven in Baltimore. And we have like a witch board, like a
Nice.
Ouija board museum, and I have a Ouija board right here. And my Ouija board pillow. I don't know if you can see that. Oh wait, probably not. I have like a weird obsession. Gettysburg and Ouija boards. And
No.
it's weird, they all kind of like coincide with one another.
It's your hometown. That's awesome. But hey,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for this. I have to drop off the call, but Chris, if you want to stay on for a while, that's fine. But I apologize. Maybe we could have you back on, Bekah, because this has been great. I want to
Yeah,
go
sure.
like deeper in the conversation and stuff. But thank you so much. I have to drop, guys. Take care. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
All right, thanks,
Bye,
buddy.
nice meeting you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Ouija boards. I
Ouija
don't like
board.
them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They terrify me. So
I'm
why don't we
sorry.
get into that a little bit? How'd you get started playing with them? What would have been you mentioned you've heard like sounds and voices and stuff. Like why don't you go into some of your Ouija board experiences?
Okay, so I do love Ouija boards. I have a few. I have a lot of like little knickknacks that are Ouija boards. I do want to start collecting them, but I don't want to use them. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but like just because I've had experiences with Ouija boards, I don't really want to use them, and I would never use them in my house. The last time I did use one was on the Jericho covered bridge one night. I met a group of kids that were also, trying to get scared and spooked, and we all did a little Ouija board session together. Once it gets really quiet and you actually sit there on that bridge, you can start to hear things. Like there has been multiple times that I've went and I have heard the man moan, like multiple times. That night we did hear that, and then that was the only thing that really happened then. And then like on different occasions I heard like we all started getting out of my car, and like the two-door cars where your friends are in the back, you got to pull the seat up. I park, I get out of my car, pull my seat up, and I'm like helping my friend out, and I hear a little girl start talking. And it's like in the middle of the night. We are parked in the woods because we didn't want to get in trouble. We're like parked like on the edge of the woods. And I hear a little girl talking, and I literally grabbed my friend's face and I pushed her back in the backseat of the car, and I slammed my car seat back, and I was like, we're leaving, we're not getting out. Like I was I was like, nope, not right now. I was like, no, I can't. And that's like I wanted to be scared and I wanted to experience something, but I wasn't at that point where I could like experience something and still like be okay. Like I was terrified. That bridge is very creepy. And if anybody's listening from Maryland or Baltimore, like they know. They like like it's pretty creepy.
See, now that triggered my morbid curiosity, and I'd like to go see that bridge.
It's real. I mean, the park is really nice. Like, I even this is so crazy. Like, I love that bridge and that park so much. Like, I did my pregnancy announcement there, and I'm like, it's haunted. Why did I do that? But I love it there.
The times you did use the Ouija board, did you guys move the planchette yourself, or did it actually move on its own?
So I just had my hand on it. Now, I don't know if other people were moving it. I do not know, because I know I wasn't, because I was like, I don't want to move it, and then like they think I'm moving it, and then you know what? And it's so long ago, I don't even know what it was spelling. I don't even remember. But I'm not sure why I have like a weird obsession with like getting Ouija board things. Like, I mean, I even have a Ouija board keychain. Like, I'm not really sure where that came from, but it goes along with
Maybe
my
it's
Gettysburg
calling you
obsession.
to use one.
Maybe. Like I would use one, but not in my house. Like I would have to like use it like investigating somewhere, but there's so many investigators that don't want that. They don't want to use them. They don't want to talk about them. They don't even want to touch them. So kind of hard to find people that would want to do that. I just feel like you really need to know how to like protect yourself and keep yourself grounded and know when to stop, know how to start it, know how to end it properly. Because when you don't do those things, that's when things can get bad, as well as like any other type of tool or investigation. But
So, Bekah, the other, few questions that I have for you, you did send us an email earlier and you mentioned that you've lived in a couple of very haunted homes. So, if you don't mind going into those and sharing what happened in those places.
all right, I'll start with like the first one, the one with like the poltergeist activity in it. I we were this is my second home we've ever lived in. I was 17. I was a junior in high school, and this is the first time we ever moved, and we moved into this new house. Um, Everything was like okay for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like weird things started happening, and things like started moving. So my bedroom was in, you know what like a Jack and Jill bathroom is? Like it has the door to the bedroom, to the bathroom, and from the hallway.
Yeah.
I would always leave the bathroom door to the hallway locked, and I would leave my bedroom door locked unless somebody absolutely had to like come in. So I know nobody's like walking in. I would have heard them. And it had a mirror, and of course the mirror faced into my bedroom from the bathroom. And then I had like a sliding glass door that I could get out to the deck on. And they always say, never have mirrors facing the outside, like to have, you should never have like the mirror facing outside. Cause like, I don't know, like something outside could be, or somebody from outside could be staring in your mirror and doing something creepy. I don't know. But that's where I feel like some of this might have stemmed from. But I would see this black figure in my mirror while I'm laying in my bed, and my like blinds would be closed, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? That's like the first thing I started noticing. Then I move out for a little bit. Then I come back, and the activity is like so much worse once I moved back home. My wife used to lay in bed with our dog, and she would text me and be like, you have to come home right now. Something's in the closet. Something is scratching on the walls in the closet. And I'm like, I'm at work. I can't come home. I can't come save you right now. Like, you're going to be fine. And I would go home, and she would not have moved the entire time while I was at work because she was so terrified to get up. She literally would have the covers over her head. I'm like, you didn't get up to like feed the dog? Like you got to take care of yourself. And she's like, no, something is literally in the closet. And at night when we would lay there, we started to hear scratching in the closet, and the dog would start growling at the closet. And I was so terrified to open it. And it sounded like human fingernails, like scratching the wall. It was so creepy. I would open the door and it would stop, and like nothing would be in there. Then we would lay there. I don't know what really ramped this energy up in the house, but it was terrifying. The knobs on our dressers would they were like knobs that like you could pull up and down, and the knobs would start to lift and flap back down, and we'd be laying there, and we would be so terrified we didn't even know what to do. And when we would be sleeping, the remote for the television would be like on our nightstand, and the TV would turn itself on, and the volume would shoot all the way up to 100. And like sometimes when you would wake up and realize like what the hell is going on, and the volume would just like, you could literally see the volume going up on the TV, and then you're trying to turn it off with the remote and it's like not turning off. That would happen often, like a couple times a week. That was like really creepy because it could just like manipulate the electronics. And then sorry, I'm like rambling, but there was like so many other instances where I've actually seen objects moving in the house. Like we're sitting at the kitchen table, and we have, everybody has the miscellaneous socks where you can't find the other sock. It was in the middle of the dining room table, and my sister-in-law is sitting on one side of the table, I'm sitting on the other side, and we're having a conversation. One of the socks gets lit up out of the basket that's in the middle of the table, goes over to the edge of the table, and drops down onto the floor, and we're both looking at each other like, what the fuck just happened? And we're like so shaken up about it.
There's a couple of things that I'll, just to save the listeners from hearing it all over again, that I'll share with you after the show. But please continue.
I always have called it a poltergeist because I just feel like a regular ghost doesn't just like pick things up and throw them across your house. It hated when new people would come into the house. Like it would settle down for a little bit, and then the second a new person would come into the house, the energy would like ramp back up. Like it absolutely hated it. I had a birthday party at my house. Now it was my 21st birthday party, and of course there was a lot of drinking, but like my wife was sober, so she could kind of watch everybody and everything and make sure everyone was like acting, okay. My mom made all of the girls spend the night because she was like, nobody's driving. We're all laying in the living room and we like turn on Spider-Man I don't know why we chose Spider-Man, but we're all like watching it. We're sitting there and all of a sudden we start to hear the dishes flying out of the dish strainer. The plates were coming out of the dish strainer and being thrown across the kitchen and hit the floor. And everybody is terrified. And now that they're all tipsy and like starting to sober up, they're like, I gotta go home. I can't stay here. I was like, guys, it's okay. Like it happens all the time. Like it's okay. You're gonna be okay. Like I promise. You can't drive. Like everybody needs to sober up. They're like, I never want to come here again. I'm so scared. I'm like, I'm sorry. And then like for another time, it's always like everything that moved was like on the top floor, and it was really creepy. My mom had a griddle plugged in and she was about to start making pancakes, and I'm sitting at the dining room table and she's talking to me. The griddle got picked up in the air, thrown across the kitchen, and it literally got yanked out of the outlet and thrown across the kitchen. And I looked at my mom and I said, will you please believe me now that there's a ghost in this house? Will you please believe me? Please. And she was like, yeah, I don't think that should have happened. And I'm like, yeah, like there's something weird going on in this house. Like, I mean, I even caught like footsteps in the snow coming from our old shed out back, and they just come and they loop right around and then go back into the shed. And they were just like tiny little kid footprints. God, if I can find my old phone, I will download that picture and I will send it to you. It was creepy, and there was nothing in the shed. There was no door on the shed, and there were no footsteps anywhere else except from the shed in the snow and back into the shed. It was terrifying. And I'm like, we need to get out of here. And it locked me out of the house so many times. Like so many times on the slider door. Like they have the latches that go up and down. I would shut the door to let the dog out and it would lock me out. One more instance. I know if my wife listens to this, she's going to be pissed that I told anybody because she won't even talk about it with me. Right before we were moving out, I had this dream and I'm in my room and everything disappears from the room. And I'm standing there and it's nothing but the walls and a woman in the corner of the room in a rocking chair. And she's wearing a black dress with a black lace covering over her face. And she's just holding the arms of the rocking chair and she's rocking. And I can see red glowing eyes under the black lace over her face. I'm just standing there in shock in my dream. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And she grabs the arms of the rocking chair and she stands up and the lace comes off her face and she screams. And her mouth was just like a black hole and her eyes weren't red anymore. They were black. I didn't tell my wife about that until we moved out of the house. I was like, I gotta tell you about this dream I had. And she was like, I had the same exact dream. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I don't know if it was like an old hag or a lady in black. I don't know, but it was terrifying. And I've never experienced anything like that since I lived there. Thank God. And I don't think she was very nice.
I don't think she was very nice either.
Just terrifying. And another thing, I'm so sorry, but this is really weird. I watched something, the dresser with the handles that would move, I watched something like a bottle of lotion fall off the top of the dresser. So I literally watched it hit the floor. So I bend over to pick it up and I'm like, where the fuck is this bottle of lotion? I'm like looking everywhere for it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I stand back up. It's back on top of the dresser. That house was so weird. Like I would never go back in there ever. Like I would not go in that house alone. If I needed something from the house and nobody was home, I would not go. I would go to the store and buy something before I walked in the house by myself.
I don't blame you.
It's just something about like where you live. Like that should not happen. The place where you go to sleep at, and you should feel safe in your home. No, absolutely not.
Right. I have a question for you. Given that you have these psychic abilities, I'm sure you've seen things. You said you've seen things, felt things, heard things. So you kind of got the whole nine with your psychic abilities. My question is, when you talk about this stuff, do you ever feel like they know that you're talking about it?
Yes. Yeah. So like if you asked me something that would about going on in my house, I would say no, I can't talk about it because I'm literally in my house. Like I feel like if you talk about something that where you are in that space, like you're feeding it, you're giving it energy, you're giving it acknowledgement, it knows. And it's gonna keep happening and it's gonna happen more. Now that I've like stepped away from those places, I feel like I can talk about that. So if I ever do need to talk about something, like if something's happening in here, I will do it miles and miles away from my house because I feel like I can disconnect from the places like after I leave them.
You end up moving out of that home. Kind of like me, no amount of money will ever get you to go back. Step foot in that place again.
No, I would never go. And then yeah, when we moved again, of course I'm like, oh my God, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like I feel so good here. It's so happy. It's so positive. And then there's like residual hauntings there. And it's from like the late 1800s to like early 1900s. And it's just, that was easier to like deal and cope with. But at least that wasn't like, it wasn't threatening. But like there were like, I don't know if I would say mimic because I feel like a mimic is like a bad like energy or like entity. But when no one was in the house, you would hear like, you know, my mom, my dad, my sister, somebody calling my name, and then just to turn around and realize that nobody is in the house but me. But like nothing ever really terrible happened there. I did get like dreams about the people that lived there. One night I even woke up and there was a little boy sitting on our fireplace, and he was definitely from like the early 1800s, like the way his clothing was. It was weird because he was illuminated by like what looked like moonlight, but we're like in my dark room and he's sitting on my fireplace and he was soaking wet. So I thought maybe he was trying to like warm up, but my fireplace wasn't on. And he looked maybe 5 or 6 years old. And then he kind of just like dissipated. And I got this feeling like he had drowned somewhere. There was a creek nearby, and I know the house used to be farmland. Just really weird. That was the only time I've really ever seen a spirit illuminated by what seemed like moonlight.
Thankfully for me, I've never seen anything.
I feel like women are more like prone to seeing things for some reason. I don't know if you've ever noticed or realized that. I just feel like that. And then
No, I think you're onto something there. But as far as seeing things, I don't know if it's because we're afraid and we're not open to it. Because I'll say personally for me, it's like you don't want to encounter something that you can't physically protect yourself and whoever else you're with from. Because it puts you in a position
that makes sense.
of like weakness. It's like, okay, I am absolutely useless in this situation. If I see like a demonic entity standing at the end of my hallway that looks like a fucking minotaur, and my wife is behind me screaming, and I can't do anything there. I'm sorry. I hope you can run as fast as me because like I can't help you
I
there.
feel yeah, and like also I feel like that comes down to like men are supposed to be like the protectors. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes
Right.
sense. It's like if I don't see it, I can't protect you from it because I don't know it's there.
It's kind of like ingrained in people genetically. Like you'll do certain
Yeah.
things. So I think
Right.
it's similar to that type of thing. It's like I don't want to see like a ghost general. Like what the hell am I gonna do that? Like salute him? What the fuck can I do? like like no,
Yeah,
like that's not happening.
no. It's at that point you're just like, all right, imagine like the white light is around you and just tell it to go away. Like that's or start praying, whatever you believe in.
But I will say for me, I do get the whiff of like shadows in my peripherals though.
Yeah. That's
It's
always
kind
like
of annoying.
me too. Yeah. No, it is, especially like when you're trying to sleep and you're like sleep at night, you're like, why is that happening? Why right now? I always like to creep the people out I work with. I'm like, just so you guys know, the ghost in the basement it's down there. I saw it, and then nobody will go down and get anything for the rest of the night. But I just like creeping them out. It's so funny. I'm like, you're locking up the basement tonight.
Do Do you ever have instances where you're laying in bed, but I'll be laying there and I'll be like watching TV, I can't sleep, it'll be like 1 in the morning, and something in my mind will say, "Look at the doorway. Don't you want to look at
Oh
the
my God, yeah.
doorway?"
And then you see it and you're like, fuck. I'm
It's
trying to sleep.
yeah, it's
Come
like
back tomorrow during business hours.
yeah, it's like I don't want to look over. And then it's you ever seen those memes with like ghosts like that they like pop their head in and out? It's kind of like one of those things.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just like, I'll help you tomorrow if you need help. I don't know what I can do for you, but like leave me alone. I'm sleeping. And then they'll just come to me in my dreams and then they'll show me some like crazy incident and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do with that information. Where are you now?
It's like, do you want me to point you to the hospital? Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah.
know.
I had like I'll have like these dreams and like and people will show me like how they died and I'm like, okay, I don't like I'm not to that level yet to know where you like how to help you. Like I don't really know because I get so scared and I just wake up because I like terrified because sometimes it's like really gory and gruesome and I don't like that and I just wake up I'm like shit I couldn't help anybody. So I need to figure that out.
How often do you have dreams of people coming to you showing you how they died and it was like a gruesome death? Is that frequent?
It just really depends. There's literally no rhyme or reason to it. I feel like so far since the year started, I've only had one, and I had the dream last night. And I'm like trying to tell my wife about it, and we're like trying to like decipher what it was. And we went to Valley Forge yesterday, the battlefield, and she's like, it kind of sounds like maybe it was something from there. Cause do you want me to tell you the dream? It's kind of gory. You want to know?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
It's somebody's trying to show me something, right? So, and then all of a sudden, like everything looks foggy, but I see like a bunch of people fighting, and I'm like, I can see them on the ground and they're like hitting each other, and then like my vision, like I'm staring this way, and then my vision pans over and I'm looking, and there's a guy and he has this weird smile on his face. I'm like, what is going on? And I can only see one half of his face, and when he turns, there is just blood running and dripping down his face and into his mouth. And when it turns, I can see like a gigantic, like I would say like a musket size in his head. Like it's huge. And I could see his brains. Everything is running down his face. And he has like a hatchet in his hand, like like I think I'm using the right word. Like not like a large axe, but it's like a knife on a wooden, I don't know, like a wooden holder with like the little square
Yeah,
knife. Is
yeah.
that maybe a hatchet? I think. And
Yeah,
he's
it's like a
and he's like,
tomahawk.
okay, yes. I know what you're talking about now. Yes. That's like a Native American thing, right? I think.
Yep.
He's a white man and he's got like a long beard, like not well taken care of, long hair, like I mean really long hair, maybe 1800s attire. And I mean, he starts like swinging it. And I woke up and I have been up since 7 a.m. this morning because I could not go back to sleep because I saw brains and it really grossed me out. And I've had like 5 hours of sleep and I could not go back to bed. Not that I wanted to wake up that early. And see like I get this information and I don't watch gory movies. I can't anymore. Ever since I had a child, like I cannot watch anything gory. I refuse to. It's like I've changed my entire DNA. But I don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah, I wouldn't know either, but what I would say is with Valley Forge, I'm sure you're aware, Washington camped there in the winter. And what they don't tell you, what the history books don't tell us, is what everyday life was like for the soldiers there. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was an instance of like a food shortage or something, and there was a scuffle that broke out, and he was one of the soldiers that happened to have been killed over food or something.
That makes a lot of sense because these people were like thin, like so thin, like you could see like the bones in their face thin. Like that would make a lot of sense. But it's just like weird because like if I'm gonna have I don't know, like I didn't have any downloads when I was there yesterday at all. Like sometimes I'll get like what I told you about those like little movie trailer clips. Like I'll just like get a whole bunch of information and I can like see it in my mind's eye. But I didn't get any of that, so maybe that was what that was. I'm not sure. But it was really gruesome. It was super gruesome.
That's good that they're all not that bad. But speaking of your mind's eye, Bekah, do you have this thing where if you see something creepy, whether it be in a movie or for real, like it's just imprinted in your mind's eye and it doesn't matter what you do? It just feels like it's behind you all the
Yeah.
time. And you can't close your eyes because you feel like something's gonna come and like bear hug you.
Yes. Yeah, I do feel like that sometimes. That's so like I know this is crazy because I just told you this gruesome like ass dream that I had, but like I refuse. I cannot watch the news. I can't watch any scary movies because I just feel like those images, like I know people watch that kind of stuff for like entertainment, not the news, but like like movies for entertainment, but like when you actually see things in like other realms and you've experienced them and you can feel them and you know how negative things are in the other realm, it just reinforces how real that is. And I try to stay away from it. Like I don't know if that makes any sense, but like it makes sense in my mind to keep myself like grounded and safe. If I watch like Annabelle or something now, I would think Annabelle's coming around the corner to get me.
I get that feeling too. I love watching that stuff. My wife yells at me. She's like, "Why the fuck are you watching a haunting while I'm laying here trying to sleep?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Oh, I can watch
It's
that. If it's about ghosts and paranormal, like I can watch it 100%. It's like those gory movies. Like I can't do it.
like
like the
Saw.
real
You can't
stuff.
watch Saw.
Oh my god, no! I still have nightmares
No.
about that, and I haven't seen that in like 20 years. Like I just remember like the woman trying to get the key, and like the intestines coming out with it. That was it. I didn't even finish it.
Have you had sleep paralysis before?
I've had like not that I know of, but I've had like instances where I'm like calling out for help and like my voice isn't like I can't get anything out, but I've never ever felt held down or like I couldn't move or anything.
Yeah. I've had a couple instances where I had night terrors and I don't remember doing this. My wife was like, "Are you okay? Like you literally just screamed in your sleep, like a blood curdling scream, like something was wrong." She would like shake me awake. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "What? Why'd you wake me up?" She's like, "You screaming."
I've never had like okay, so like I've had night terrors when I was a child and my mom used to say that I would wake up, I would stand up and I would start running around the house and screaming bloody murder and would have no idea and then I would just fall to the floor and go back to sleep.
So my sister in the haunted house we lived in sleptwalked
Oh my god.
all the time. And she would say the weirdest things while she was sleepwalking. And as soon as we moved out, it stopped immediately.
So she'd be like influenced. Yeah.
She had an imaginary friend and it was a little like 5-6-year-old looking boy in like a 1920s sailor suit type of outfit. There was more things in there. There was something in there. The reason I asked you the question of talking about your experiences, you feel like it knows. With me, it definitely knows when I do it. And it's just like a terrifying, uncomfortable type of feeling. Like I'm sure you notice like I look over my shoulder quite a bit while I do these recordings.
Yeah.
Because like it feels like something is standing in my doorway to my game room office, just watching. And
like even though you've moved out of the house, you still feel like it's like there with you.
yeah, and this is like almost 20 years removed.
So dark that it just still has like attached to you.
I would say there's definitely some attachment to all of us because it sounded like it was the same case for you with your mom. My mom being Catholic, there's the Catholic beliefs, but they're open to the spiritual world, but they don't talk about this stuff with the kids because they don't want to freak out the kids. So like when we would ask about stuff, it was like, "Oh no, it's just the pigeons. Like you're just hearing noise from outside. It's not anything substantial. Don't worry about it." But now as you get older, it's like now you get it. And it's like, "Oh, we already knew. We just didn't want to talk about it because it's like I got kids. Like what the hell am I supposed to do? I can't just pick up and leave." You know, it's one of those things. It's you got to do what you got to do to protect your own sanity and to protect your own kids. But I'll stop rambling.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good. I love it. I love hearing how like other people practice religion and other cultures and things like that.
It's kind of interesting when you shared earlier that you had a Catholic upbringing, but they were kind of opposed to ghosts. You mind going into that a little bit of why that was the case? Were they afraid, or was it kind of one of those things? It's just easier not to talk
I
about.
just feel like like anytime you would bring up anything like that, it was always like shot down immediately, and you never got a true answer why. And I just was like, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, just stuttered. You're not supposed to like talk about it. I never really understood why, but like people be like, no, God's protect you. God's got like everything's fine. God's gonna protect you. You don't need to worry about that. If you think about anything like that, it's demonic. It's evil. I never, and I'm just like sitting here. I'm like, then why am I seeing things? Why am I experiencing things? I never really understood, and I never felt like I belonged in the church, even though I was like so heavily involved in it because I was a child, and that's just kind of what I did. I was in the choir for years, and even in high school, I was helping with church and doing the choir. So I would go to church like sometimes like 5 times a week.
Right.
And I just
So
never felt like I belonged there, and I didn't really agree with any of it.
right, and that's
I
fair.
don't feel
And I
like
think
it.
I think it's dependent on like the people you interact with as well. Because with Catholicism, it's one of those religions that encourages people to look into the theology. Like, you ever heard of Father Malachi Martin?
No.
Now, he was a Jesuit priest, and he is one of the world's renowned exorcists. I think he passed away in like 96 or something in the 90s. But he wrote the book Hostage to the Devil, and these were legitimate cases that he had to handle of demonic possession within the city of New York. If you're interested in books like that, I highly recommend.
Oh no, like I've definitely like used to watch all the exorcisms on on like television. I was like, this is so cool, and I like loved listening to the priests. But then I was always so confused about how it's like, don't talk about that stuff, but like the priest will come and get it out of your house and give you holy water. Like I never really understood the whole aspect of why I wasn't allowed to engage with any of it.
This is just my opinion, and I'm just going to generalize because I'm not sure, like, what your mom went through, if she saw anything. But I think people that have had very strong paranormal experiences to the point where they've been spooked and they can't explain it, or they don't want to sound crazy, they're very quick to shut it down, because you'll have these things where you could talk about this at work, and you'll get that one person that says, well, oh, I don't believe in that bullshit, but there was this one time this happened to me. There's always that there was this one time. And to me,
Right.
that's where that spans.
That makes complete sense. No, I like that theory.
Out of curiosity, you should like ask your mom, like, Mom, like, did something happen that made
I
you afraid
should.
of this stuff? Did you see something there? Like, through the Bible itself, there's like multiple instances where there's ghosts and there's demons, and that's the reality of the faith you believe in. I understand that you're afraid of it, but sweeping it under the rug is not going to help. I think the best thing you could probably do is like learn to educate on how to handle that type of stuff. And that's how we end up doing these podcasts and these TikTok
Yeah.
videos and all this other stuff, because I was kind of embarrassed to like do a paranormal podcast at first, and sharing my
I hear
stories.
ya.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was the
It's so
same for
funny.
you.
Yeah, and I mean I just started doing videos about the paranormal like in September because I called it Summerween. So I kicked it off with like doing Summerween videos, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, I love this." But like people will, like, I don't know, be like, "That's weird. Like, why are you into that?" And now like I don't have that many followers, but now that I've like gotten more followers and more views and
Mhm.
more comments, people are like, "Oh my God." They're sending me like locations like, "Oh, you should do this now." I'm like, "Weren't you just telling me that that's weird, and why am I doing that?"
Right.
I felt really weird about it, but I was like, "You know what? I don't care what people think anymore. I'm like in my 30s. I have to do something that I like."
Yeah, like
So
this
why
world
not?
is crappy enough already.
Yeah, you got to
You
do
got to
something you
find
enjoy.
something. You got to find something you
Yeah.
enjoy.
And look here, look, now I'm like on your podcast talking about ghosts with you. So I'm like, okay, so it got me somewhere. So this is fun.
I've met so many amazing people and heard so many stories that I've resonated with personally. It's like, on the selfish side, it's like, okay, now it's not just me. I'm glad other
Yeah.
people have been terrified too. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, from that, philosophical perspective, and I don't want to say scientific perspective, but I'll say it anyway, it kind of brings up the question of like, what is this? Is there another dimension we can't see? Is it the afterlife that bleeds over? Is it residual energy? You have the dream of that lady with the fucking red eyes and the black hole mouth. Is that another dimensional being that your house happened to sit on where they reside in that dimension and that royally pissed them off? Or
That's yeah,
the
I think it was
previous or the previous inhabitants that were in that home did some crazy shit to summon whatever that thing was? Or you just happened to be on an Indian burial ground. Like, it could
Yeah.
be a multitude of things, you know?
Yeah, the Indian burial grounds, like, they have a different feel to them, though. Like, like, if it's Indian land or, like, Native American land, like, and they have
Mhm.
different, like I don't know. I am really good at picking up on Native American energy. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'll be like, we'll be driving somewhere, like, I've never been. I'm like, this has a lot of Native American energy. And my wife will, like, start looking things up. She's like, there's a burial ground, like, 2 miles away. I'm like, okay, that's why. I don't know how it's so like, I'm still amazed by it, like, to this day. I'm like, "Whoa." Like, I couldn't tell you how many times I Googled something, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, that makes sense now that I felt that way," but it's still weird.
How do you know it's Native American? Like, what's the distinct feeling that you get, if you can describe it?
See, this is, like, the worst because like, trying to describe what you feel because it's not a normal feeling everybody gets, it's, like, a different realm, and you're feeling it, and it's coming through. I just know in my head. I'm like, "Oh, there's, like, Native American people, like, buried here." Sometimes, like, I'll see them, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, this is their land, like, they must have really inhabited, like, this space that we're in right now." That's the best way I can describe it. I'm sorry, I know that's not, like I don't know how to, like, describe the feeling. It's literally just, like, I see it, and then I feel it, and I know. If I'm somewhere and I've never been there, and I'm like I'll have shivers, I'm like, "Oh, someone's buried." Like, that's my body telling me, like, someone's buried. Um like there's like someone dead somewhere buried. Like I have shivers. Or if like somebody died where I am, like my throat goes and I can't breathe and it's like hard for me to physically breathe. And I feel
Mhm.
like something's like squeezing not my like throat, but like inside, like grabbing me, like inside of my throat. And I'm like, okay, somebody died here. Like it's weird, like the different sensations that my body gets for different things.
I just get question after question that that pops up. I'm so sorry. I know
You're okay, you're fine, you're good.
I have this thing, I don't know if you do as well. My one buddy, he doesn't, where like when someone's describing something to me, it'll play like a movie in my head. And when you say you see them, are you saying like you actually like you see them as you see me right now? Or is it like an energy blob type of thing?
I will see them, but not with my eyes, with my third eye. Say if like I walk into like a room and I'm just staring blankly, like, and my eyes like my wife knows when it happens because my eyes are like that's so that's so Raven. She'd be like, my eyes
Yes.
like literally like zoom into a spot and I'm watching like an entire. It could be like 10 seconds. It can just be like like a feeling or a memory. I'm watching it and then I'll like zap out of it. Or sometimes I can get so much information, that's when I see, like, that little movie clip playing where I'm getting, like,
Mhm.
"Okay, here's this, and from my life," and I don't know how to make it happen. I
It just
can't do
happens.
it on command, it just happens, yeah. I have gone to 1 psychic class so far, I plan on going to more, and it just validated me even more because, like, this woman took us to a undisclosed haunted house and it's just like 8 psychics and we're just writing down on pieces of paper like and not talking to one another what we picked up on and like all of us picking up on like the same things but like some of us are picking up on the same things but our bodies are like picking it up in like different ways. So like when I knew a man died in the shower upstairs in that house because he slipped and fell, I saw the whole thing and I knew and then I had that feeling in my throat. and you don't say anything to one another until you just kind of write everything down, and then you go over it afterwards, and like different people know what happened but like sense it in a different way. So it's really different for like everyone. Hopefully like when I start doing more of those, I can, I don't know, I guess come more in tune with it, or maybe make it happen, or like I'm not sure.
No, that makes sense. And what's interesting about the download stuff is that my cousin, she's very intuitive and she gets downloads as well. And I don't know if you ever tried doing tarot card readings. She's hella accurate, man. I was curious one summer. I was like, "You got your cards with you?" She's like, "Yep." I'm like, "All right, let's see what you got." So threw down the cards, said everything, and literally every single thing happened that she predicted in the cards and what she got in her downloads. She's like, "Well, I'm getting a download right now, and this is not card specific." And it was like bam, 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 bam. Fast forward to another psychic friend of mine that I met through podcasting, Alex Gaska. She's on TikTok as well. She's really nice if you want to give her a follow.
I'll have to look into her.
Yeah, she's like, and she did a reading for me, like after we did a podcast recording. There was one thing that she said, "I see a move for you towards the end of the year." I'm like, okay. And I shit you not, Bekah, literally like last year, we purchased a home and we moved.
Oh my god.
And I told her, I was like, "Hey, guess what? Like, cause like people like to give her shit. They're like, oh, you're fake and whatever." And I was like, guess what? I didn't even ask her to do a reading for me. She just did it out of courtesy. And she said I was going to move. I didn't even realize and put two to two together until like we freaking closed on the house. And I like shot her a message. I was like, "Hey, remember when you came on the show X, Y, and Z day?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You said I was going to move. Well, guess what? I just closed on a house. So thank you."
Oh my god. I mean, I don't think I don't have that kind of ability. I've never tried to have that kind, like tried to play with tarot cards or anything like that. I do want to get into that though. I want to learn how to read tarot. I feel like that'd be really cool. That's crazy that she just picked that up, that like your cousin picked up your tarot reading, and then like, I love it. I love it. I love all of this.
Yeah, I still keep a good heap of skepticism with certain people because
Yeah,
you
not
scroll through
everybody's
TikTok
honest.
and yeah, not everybody's honest. You scroll through TikTok and it's like everybody has like a live throwing down tarot cards for everyone, and every video is different on the same day. And it's like, "Scorpio, you're going to be successful tomorrow." Then the next one is like, "Scorpio, you're going to have a shitty day tomorrow." And it's
Are you a Scorpio?
yes, I am.
Oh my god. I literally have a whole house full of Scorpios.
Oh, that's
Even
funny.
the dog.
Even the dog. That's
I'm like,
funny.
how did this happen?
What are you?
I'm a Cancer. I feel like a lot of Cancers are like intuitive. The water signs.
I'm like a little skeptical on horoscopes, but there's certain times where it's like, damn, like, okay. Like it's you
Accurate.
just spelled out you see everything they say about Scorpio's personality that you see on a TikTok. It's accurate. You live with them. We're all assholes. We mean well,
You
but we're all
said it.
assholes.
I don't know. This is just my theory, but like eye color. Have you ever noticed that? Like a lot of psychics have really light colored eyes.
No, I never really
And
paid
now you're gonna
particular
look at all
attention
their
to
eyes.
that. Yes, now I'm gonna now I'm gonna pay. Bekah, I've had you here for quite a while. I want to be respectful of your time. I definitely want to bring you back for you to share some more paranormal experiences. In your email, you said you were actually dealing with quite a bit of some paranormal activity recently, and I would love to have Dean around for that
Yeah.
discussion. But Bekah, thank you so much for agreeing to
Of
come on
course,
the
thank
show
you.
on such short notice. Like I said, would definitely love to have you back on again. We got to get that scheduled. But before we end, why don't you tell the listeners and the viewers where they could find you and get a hold of you?
Yep. So my Instagram, my TikTok, and my YouTube are all at ThirdEyeBekah. And then if you click the link tree in my bio, it'll take you to all of them, and you can just follow them from there. And then my apothecary is also attached to that. And if you want to email me a ghost story and you want me to share it, it's thirdeyebekah@gmail.com. And Bekah is Bekah.
Go ahead, give her a follow. Go check out her page. Go get a hold of her. Share your ghost stories with her. But
Yeah.
folks, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe, leave a like, comment. If you've had any scary stories, please share your scary stories on the comment section or shoot us an email at twroadpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for the support, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode, guys.
You've reached the end of tonight's journey on the Wandering Road. The show is written and produced by me, Chris, and my co-host, Dean. If you've got a scary story of your own, or if you'd like to join us as a guest, send your tale to twroadpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more haunted fun. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode, please rate, review, and share the show. It helps keep the lantern burning for fellow travelers. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road and your mind in the shadows, because the wandering never ends.